Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's me. No music, just me. I know I've been gone a long time. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I was coming back. 2025 was an experience. It was challenging, to say the least. For those of you who follow me on social media, you might even know a little bit of it, but not all of it. After getting, well, what I think is a lot of emails over the last few months of people asking if I'll be back, if the show will be back, I decided that I would at least update everybody on where we are today and what I'm doing and what comes next. I wasn't kidding when I said 2025 was a bit of a challenge. Let's call it the year of burnout and roadblocks. It wasn't all challenging. I did have some good stuff too. I mean, I have family, but the struggles that I had and to deal with in 2025 wasn't quite as hard as I've had in the past, but it wasn't awesome. And it was like those adult problems, those things that you have to deal with. You can't just walk away from it and say, never mind, because it had to do with the future of my family. It had to deal with so much. I guess we'll just work through the topics. We'll just catch you up on everything. Much of it was hindered by my overall workload. I have a tendency to take on too many things. Because I think something's easy or because I think I can do it, I think I should. And that's not always true. I had so many things that created burnout and the exhaustion was real. I stayed moving all the time. Very rarely was I not doing something, but most of the things I was doing is at a stationary desk. When you're burnt out and all you do is type, not only is it bad mentally, but the weight gain was ridiculous. I'm probably closest to the largest I've ever been in my entire life. So some of my social media coming up is going to be me finding ways to slim it back down and do the exercise and all the hard work yet again to get down to my normal weight. But it tends to push you towards depression. It tends to push you towards not wanting to do anything, honestly. It is a new experience for me. Not to say I've never been depressed, not to say I've never had challenges, but 2025, it was hard. Now, everybody knows I'm an engineer and I have a full-time job, but I also held a part-time job at a company called STEMnetics where we get to help kids with STEM, and that was very important to me. I've been doing it ever since I was in college. I hold 2 seats here in Durand, one at the Chamber of Commerce, and the other one is on the Planning Commission. I obviously own and run Dabble. I do this show. I write this show. I record this show and I produce this show. There's public speaking, kindness projects, all kinds of things. These are the things that have kept me busy. I get 3D print orders because that's something I know how to do and people want things made. Matter of fact, I was supposed to print something today. Sorry, Mr. Brogan. It did not get done. I'll try to get it done soon. I am also a landlord. Most of you watch this on social media, build a house. And now people live in it. So when they have problems, we're there to take care of them. If something breaks, it's our responsibility to fix it. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. And now, if you've been watching, we have one called the Cat Trap House. We bought a duplex for $13,000 whole dollars. And it's that nice. So we're stripping it down to the beams and all the studs with the kids and the wife. It takes a ton of work. Plus, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a dad and a husband. It's just, yeah, I had jobs. So let's take a look at the first one, STEMnetics. I love STEMnetics. I would do anything for STEMnetics. But even though it wasn't taking massive amounts of my time, I was constantly thinking about it. I was always looking for new STEM projects, ways to put it into curriculum. And I mentally put far more time than I did working in STEMnetics, which adds to that exhaustion. I wrote a lot of the projects and topics for STEMnetics. I helped train people. I did orientations. There's a lot of things that I had my hands on when it came to STEMnetics. So I had to step down. Now if they need something, they can ask, contract it, and as long as I have an end date, I'll think about it. But now everything that comes in, I'm selecting it independently. Because really what was happening was I had all these jobs, but I did all of them poorly when I was so used to being good at certain things. So I had to step down. I'm not on payroll. If they need me to do something, we will discuss it and we will get it done. But other than that, I'm an outside observer now, which by the way is very weird. My day job, that changed. I wanted to be hired into the company. I was a contractor. And I was told that wasn't an option, at least at the role that I had. So I started putting the word out. I wanted the new role. I wanted to work at the company that I've been working at for, well, 5 years. And I found a spot. I found a great spot, a spot that was, in a sense, created so that I could be hired in and design it. That is fun. It's a big deal when your day job is fun to do. And that has changed a lot of things. I am having a great time. I love this new role. And the promotion's been fantastic. The city projects, well, this is another one that hurts me. And I kind of did the edible landscape project. I kept some of the gardens up, and honestly, they're not all perfect, but at least they were decent, much better than years before. But the bigger problem was the Duran Internet project. That one, everybody depends on me for, because I'm the tech nerd. Not everybody else is. We got it approved. We got it financed. We got the equipment. I got a new job, was in Dallas, was in Oklahoma City, and took my hands off the wheel. When I took the hands off the wheel, nothing moved. It stayed just like it was. So a project that we thought was going to be done in May got pushed, then pushed, until it's still not done today. Now we have all the equipment. Everything is pretty much mounted. Friday the 11th, I have people coming out to do wiring so that we can wire the network up. And then the last appointment is with Watech, a company down in Auburn Hills, will help me build the firewall and design the splash page. So I'm almost there. I will get that one done, but I'm a little ashamed. I'm a little bummed, and I feel like I've let the community down by taking so darn long to accomplish it. When I know I could have got it done sooner, I just had too many things on the plate. What was probably a couple of emails probably ended up as months because it took forever for me to remember to send that email. This was a big problem, a big reason why I made a lot of change. So that one, we'll get it done. It's 7 months late, but I'll get it done. Obviously, number 4, you notice I didn't do the show. I completely bailed out of the show. I didn't even think about it. Well, I say I didn't think about it. I thought about it a lot, but I did not record anything and I didn't make any movements towards this because I felt like if I did this show, I had a certain cadence I had to keep up. I had to have so many shows so often and do these things, but it's not necessarily true. I could change that. I could do just one a month like many other shows. I could do a show when I feel like it. It's mine. It's a hobby. Realistic sustainability was never my full-time paycheck. We did this because we loved it. I did it because I loved it. I think the other people that came into the show did it because they liked me. But this was a passion thing, and I might continue it. I think that there's a fighting chance that I'll keep it at least functional. Maybe not at the level it originally was. Maybe we're not punching out as many shows as we should, but we'll keep some moving. The biggest problem that I had in 2025, that put probably the largest burden on me, is many of you watched Jamie and I rebuild that house in Duran, that big, beautiful brick house. Well, that took a construction loan, which is fine. We utilized certain money. We hit certain milestones. They release money. And at the end of it, your $82,000 house probably cost about $110,000. Well, the bigger problem is that same group of banks, and there's more than one that work together, they would hire an appraiser because they have to get it out of that style of loan because it's very expensive, but it works for when you're working on it. Well, in order to get it out, you have to get it appraised. All of the appraisals were like super low. I actually had an appraisal on that house that has been renovated that was as low as $109,000. And in this area, that's just silly. You can't get a single property for that kind of money. And then they would say, well, let's try this bank or let's try this bank. And I didn't realize they were all within the same network or same group. So I had paid for 4 appraisals. I had spent money on when the bank said, go fix this or go fix that. $7,500 later, the banks are coming to me going, well, you could just give us the house if it's becoming too big of a burden for you. And that's when I realized a lot of the rules that we had protecting us are gone. It's all about making money. Doesn't matter who it hurts. I realized they were manipulating me. I went to an outside bank completely out of their network. I paid for yet another appraisal. And guess what? That appraisal came in at $175,000. Probably could have been closer to $200,000 if there was any decent sales in the neighborhood. That other bank was predatory. Those people were trying to take our house from us. That took a whole year. That weighed heavy on us. I was constantly worried about the people who were renting it. I was worried about our finances. And I was worried about the bank to the point where I even questioned just signing it out over and giving up. Luckily, I went outside of the network. We found another bank. They refied it just as normal. It's safe now. It's in a 30-year fixed. So we can now just relax. That one is done. Plus now we've got a new duplex, the $13,000 quote unquote cat trap house. That's where all the videos are coming from now. We're working on it constantly. We're literally tearing everything out. We're finding things in the walls. The kids are having a field day learning about electricity and plumbing and how to rip down plaster. We're having a great time. It's a ton of work, but that's going to be a fun one to watch if you do like watching people renovate, going from what it is today to what it will be. That one's kind of cool. You might enjoy that. One of the other big things that needs to be discussed today is I'm closing Dabble. When I have all these jobs, all these responsibilities, it becomes very, very challenging. I've been able to hang on to it because we've had all kinds of volunteers who just decide to help on a regular basis. Danny and Earl, everybody who just hangs out to make sure that I'm not overloaded. Well, the income that comes in from Dabble was primarily grants or education grants or from companies or organizations that get education grants. All that's gone. All the education grant money is gone. Dabble went from being profitable last year to an absolute catastrophe this year. You know, Jamieson has to every once in a while remind me when I'm doing something silly. And she kept saying, are you seriously going to pay for a building for a handful of people to just use when they feel like it? Turns out, no. We put the building up for sale. Dabble is somewhat operating. We're really only doing rentals. No more STEM classes. None of that stuff is active right now. Once we're caught up, once I have that free time again, almost every business owner in this town will let me do a STEM class. I don't need a building to help the community. I want to do the back to school drive. There's a line of companies that would let me do it in their building. I'm very lucky like that. People trust that if we're going to hold an event, it's going to draw. So I don't have to have a building. In a sense, I have a whole city's worth of buildings to work from. As long as I do it with integrity and as long as we are truly helping the community, people are going to let us use their space. So building's up for sale. You can find it online right now. It's mildly operating, but it's done. It was fun. It is heartbreaking to see it go, but it is what it is. There's new chapters to be had. Dabble is closing, but I'll be able to do more. My goals are to travel, relax, hang out with family, continue to do the social media stuff. Kids, it's helping me bond with my kids. It is fun to do, and I love seeing the responses. Same thing with the show. I really do like doing the show. It's a ton of work. I make very little to none, but it's still fun to do. It's fun to share the ideas and have the conversations. And sometimes it's a little less fun to see the comments, but it also helps broaden my horizon. Sometimes people say things that put me on a trail of learning, and that's important to me. So I really enjoy doing this. I don't even know if I hit everything that I do. For the whole year, I was waking up at 6 a.m. and crashing at midnight. It's not sustainable, but I've reduced my responsibilities left and right. I'm constantly doing things that allow me to have free time because I'm going to want to go wander Hawaii again. I want to take you all with me who don't live in Michigan to go see what it's like to live up in Michigan and go through the trails and the parks and the trees and the beauty. I want to go do things. I want to not sit home and build websites for people. I want to not do all of these other things. I have to minimize it. I like my day job. That is staying. I like the houses. Those are staying. And the social media, it is too. Mainly because great way to bond with my daughter, and my son, but it's also just fun to read the comments. So for now, it's staying. Those are my responsibilities. I get to parent while playing. That's kind of cool. As I get older, things just kind of change. I know I've been doing this for a while, but I'm older. I am creeping up on 50, if you can believe that. And so I just want to do the things I want to do. I want to pay attention to sustainability. I want to go on those trips. I want to rebuild these buildings and put them back into service within the community. So if I'm going to do that, I have to make some changes. If I want to do social media and RS, I have to make some changes. And that's what I'm doing. While I was gone, I was restructuring my life, up doing those mental gymnastics, solving those problems one at a time. Now, the only big problem I still have left is having Dabble's building. Once that's sold, things calm down. I can go back to playing more than I'm working. And I look forward to that. Lets me keep the passion projects, like realistic sustainability. I guess I just needed to remember that each day we try to get better, little bit, big bit. For as many times as I've said it, you think I remember it. Thank you all for caring. Thank you all for contacting me, making sure I'm okay, wondering if I was coming back, if the show was coming back. Thank you again for caring. I don't even know better ways to say that. To me, it was heartwarming. You guys made my month, a month and a half of people messaging me. Thank you. If you want to follow me and all my family's adventures, or even the gross house renovation, you can follow me on social media, YouTube and Instagram at realsustaingyl, Facebook at michael.nazarian.79, and TikTok at realsustain. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hoping I'd come back. Let's prepare. Let's get ourselves right. And let's have an amazing 2026. You're going to hear from me again. I just got to find some new music. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.